He's never fought us. Not us united.
Die. Oh! I can so see that. That's it. Welcome to Comics League Justice League Rewatch. I'm Jared. I'm here with Nick from the Phoenix Press. What's up, dude?
I'm pretty good. You know, I guess you could. This episode, it has quite the Faustian bargain in it.
Of course you would say that. Of course you would say that. So what Nick is referring to is we were talking about Paradise Lost, the arc that introduces Felix Faust and Hades. Kind of interesting thing here. They kind of implied that Diana is the daughter of Hades.
Interesting. Now, isn't Paradise Lost an actual DC graphic novel involving Wonder Woman? Like, is this actually based off that one?
I think it is. I know the title. I don't think it's based off it.
Yeah, because the title did seem familiar.
But so basically, Diana comes home and she discovers that everyone's been turned to stone. So I know where the new 52 got that from, and it turns out Felix Faust had turned the Paradise Island to stone as a way of coercing Wonder Woman into assuming the King of Paradis.
The Amazons, they really need to lay out the wacky tobacco.
I don't know what that is, but okay. But
weed.
Okay, but anyway.
You said they got stoned.
Okay, so but where was I? Oh yeah. All right.
Let's just cut that part.
No, I'm still gonna put it in. But
okay.
Essentially, what happened was, Diana moves off and tries to collect these pieces. The Justice League help her out. We get some sweet SuperWonder moments, which I'm like, yes.
I was like, no.
Sure you were. But and then
I was like, my eyes. These eyes are only for Wonder Bat.
Yeah, my eyes are only for Nightwing and Oracle. But
okay,
I got
you. Allowed.
But essentially, what happens is that she brings men to Paradise Island. She brings the Justice League to back her up, and that ends up getting her banished. You would think she would have brought Hawkgirl with her.
Yeah, that's kind of like the weird thing. It's like of all the Justice Leaguers to not show up, the other woman is like. To be fair, they needed like more than just Wonder Woman and Hawkgirl to take care of this, but like I think that them not having Hawkgirl is probably for the better because just having the men do it kind of emphasizes the point of like no men on Paradise Island.
Yeah, that's true. And also to hint at Justice League Unlimited, Hawkgirl will play into all this at some point. But
I will say, Hawkgirl definitely would have been a good help in that fight.
Yes, exactly. But it would have been over in like 10 seconds. But
mace to the face.
That solves so many problems.
Yes.
But it's I love Wally's reaction. He's like, so just think, there's an island of women that haven't seen men probably their entire life, and I show up. Ice mochas for everyone.
I've got to say, this episode is probably the best performance Michael Rosenbaum has done for the character yet.
Oh my gosh, it gets better. So funny. Oh my gosh, yeah, this is definitely the Wally West Flash we all know. Yes, lad, it's Wally West, not Barry Allen. I know you got those two confused. I like to hold that against you.
Well, we all have our faults. I mean, you ship SuperWonder, so.
And you ship Nightwing and Starfire, so that's a very faulty thing. But going back to this, so what's kind of funny is that I love how Wonder Woman and Superman get into that battle in the mall. So they basically go on a shopping spree in the middle of the mall. I love where she goes, "Is this a temple of some kind?" Superman goes, "Yeah, to worship their credit cards."
I just love how done Superman is with that entire experience. Is like, oh, he's like, I don't even want to be here today.
Yeah, because you know that Lois, being the horrible person she is, probably drags him into these places all the time.
You had to go there.
You set me up so well, dude. You can't. That's low hanging fruit. You can't present that to me and not expect me to take it. Thank you. Lois is horrible, but
well, this episode just got 10 downvotes.
I don't care. It gets attention, but. But what's interesting here is that, okay, so to be clear, in the modern comics, actually, no, not the modern comics, it was only like the new, actually, no. Oh, yeah, she's always been able to come back to the island. I was just starting to think, I'm like, wait a second here. But yeah, she's, because there have been some periods where like she hasn't been able to get to the island. Oh, yeah, Snyderverse. That's what I'm thinking of. Because in this one, but here's my thing though. I was watching this episode today, and I'm like, if you can fly, why are you flying to the island in a javelin?
Well, here's the thing. I can run, but does that mean I'm gonna run to Seattle?
That's different when you have superpowers.
No, that's entirely my point. Just because you can fly doesn't mean you can fly fast enough to get you there in a timely manner. Plus, wouldn't you possibly get exhausted, or wouldn't it be kind of boring just to fly in your own?
They've established that these characters fly faster than a javelin.
I'm not sure Wonder Woman does.
Yep, she does. She does. The point is, it seems kind of odd. It's like Flash driving a car.
I mean, Flash rides in the javelin, even though he can literally run on water.
Well, here's the thing: in space, he can't run.
No, but he's ridden on the javelin to other places when he can run on the water. He literally
it could be because of Batman's like, okay, we need everyone in here so we can come up with a plan. Wonder Woman was all by herself in that javelin.
It
makes a little.
I think it was I think it was more convenient, you know.
Mm-hmm. Like, right. But so what did you think?
Dogs can run. Horses and dogs really fast, but when you want to transport them, you put them in a trailer.
Okay, moving on. What'd you think of Hades? His character design.
He's hot.
When he got the demon face.
He was not hot.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. I love that. But yeah. But so here's another point I want to bring up. In the past, it's been Zeus that's been the one that sleeps with Apollo, and now it's Hades. That is an interesting.
I gotta be honest with you. I actually think it's probably better that Hades does it because Zeus is known as an artist. If you know what I mean, I'm avoiding that word for obvious reasons.
Or like he's
trickster. Known as a philanderer. Yeah. Whereas Hades, because honestly, basically Hippolyta is a stand-in for Persephone in this story. She's basically Persephone. Mm-hmm. And if you actually read the story of Hades Persephone, Hades is actually a really chill dude with that whole situation. Like he handles it like pretty well. You know, like Hades in the lore is actually a pretty decent dude.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. He's always the bad guy, but when you actually read Greek mythology, he's not that much of an evil dude.
Plus, in the context of this episode, it's very clearly stated that they were in love. That like this was a consensual relationship for Hippolyta. Like obviously she later fell out of love with him, and you know, blah blah blah. But at the time, it was consensual, which I this episode made very clear was a case. And I think it's better.
Yeah, and what's interesting here, going back to the frozen in stone, that happened to Wonder Woman's mom in the New 52 because Hera, wife of Zeus, found out, shows up on Themyscira, and she goes, "Kill me, but let my sisters live." She goes, "Oh, that's too easy for you." So what Hera does,
I guess you could say they just couldn't let it go.
So what Hera does is she freezes Hippolyta in stone and turns the Amazons into snakes.
I guess the cold doesn't really bother him anyway.
Yeah, so let's see what else I want to say. So what do you think of Felix Faust?
I thought he was quite slimy, and I love how like everyone knew, yeah, this is a trap. This is obviously a trap.
Mm-hmm. because he basically telegraphs. I'm like, do you really think he's going to follow through on his part of the plan? Of the deal?
One comment that I want to make is I actually liked how the Justice League members actually communicated and they actually talked about things. It would have been so easy to like write this as like, oh, she's not telling people, and so there's conflict and she's fighting them, you know. Like it could have been so easy to write that episode that way. That is what a weaker writers would have done. But no, that after the initial thing, they talked about it. Like, okay, we'll help you, and
it's realistically what would happen in this situation.
Yes, but weaker writers would have had her not tell them for some reason. And
Modern writers. I'm sorry, I don't know.
Can we talk about the fight between Superman and Wonder Woman, please?
Oh, sure, of course. What's up?
I love that fight because like, it's an illusion fight. They each see each other as a monster,
which is so cool. And the way he just tells her it's me, he's like pointing out a window. He's like, he's right there.
Yeah, I guess they see they can see them reflections, and once you do that, the spell's broken. That's what I gathered.
Yeah.
Also, I will say that initial relic hunting, I was actually getting some like Tomb Raider Uncharted vibes from that scene.
Kind of, except the superpowers, but that's it. But yeah, because that's kind of what it is. Because they also like set off a few traps, activated some ancient robot defenders that know.
You just activated my trap card.
Yeah, exactly. It's the middle finger trap card. You all die. Yeah, exactly. So
see, my middle finger is invisible because Jared's
it's your middle right now. Knuckle. Don't worry, I got you, dude. I got you.
No, my middle finger is actually John Cena's middle finger, so that's why you can't see
it. So that's where I think we're gonna leave this episode. Was the super great arc, particularly. This keeps into my assertion with the show that each arc basically deals with one of the Leaguers doing something.
I would personally rate this as an 8 out of 10. It's very solid. It's not like amazing. It is like very, 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 very solid. Like I would say it's better than Injustice, the one that came before it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not up to some of the great episodes. Probably my favorite so far is the Aquaman 2-parter. I thought that was probably the best so far. It's my, what's your favorite so far, Jared?
Probably Secret Origin, because seeing those fight scenes, because they're one of the rare times when the whole league is there to fight together, and that's just so cool.
What's your favorite moment so far?
Let's see. That's a good question. I got to think about that one.
Well, while you're thinking, I'm going to say mine. Mine is from the previous one. It's kind of like the meme clip where it's like, hey, on the Flash, fastest man alive. No wonder you can't get a girlfriend. Yeah. Hey. I love it because it is such a dirty joke. Like, it is so freaking filthy, but like, it just flies over the heads of the kids. Like, anyone who's an adult will be like, oh, whoa, they really care.
My favorite is in this one, Superman and Wonder Woman having a battle in the middle of a shopping mall. That's awesome.
Okay.
Or like in the very beginning when Wonder Woman saves that kid. Her name is Cassie, by the way. I noticed that on this watch through, and I was like, wait, what?
By the way, speaking of Easter eggs, you notice what they called the storm?
Hurricane what?
Gardner.
Gardner Fox, baby. Gardner Fox.
Or Guy Gardner.
No, it's most likely Gardner Fox. He's the one, because I think this is before Guy Gardner became a thing, and Gardner Fox invented the Justice League as we see them today.
Possibly.
Hang on,
at this episode, oh, okay.
Paradise Lost Justice League. Let's see. I don't think it's Guy Gardner. I think it's
Guy Gardner first appeared in Green Lantern number 59, March 1968.
Oh, okay, so it's definitely not.
It could be Guy. It could be Gardner Fox, because if he has that
Hurricane Gardner is presumably a nod to Gardner Fox. Called it.
All right, you win. Hey, I'm not going to argue with the wiki. You win.
Because here's the thing, Gardner while he was around, he wasn't as mainstream because you got to remember at this point, the only Green Lantern that people really knew about was Hal. This is when John got his shot. Well, and Kyle, but I'm saying beyond those two.
I think the first big pushy guy got was in like the 90s with like Justice League International when he was on that team.
But yes, and I'm looking at here, the little blonde girl that Wonder Woman saves. Her name is Cassie. And it's a reference to Cassie Sandsmark, the Wonder Girl before Yara.
Even so the Wonder Girl of the 2000s, basically.
Yeah, the one who was on like the Jeff Johns Teen Titans run and all that stuff, who had a relationship with Connor Kent Superboy.
Didn't she also have a relationship with Tim Drake? I thought
what happened was
her having a relationship with him.
What happens is Connor dies in Infinite Crisis. They turn to each other for comfort because Tim lost his best friend. Yes, Fitzmartin, best friend. That's it. I have to say that. And Cassie lost her boyfriend, so they did that. And then Connor came back at the end of I think it's Blackest Night, and then they like got back together.
I don't know. I kind of like Tim and Cassie together because
of course you would. Wonder Bat. There you go. The only one I will accept is actually Cassie Sandsmark and Damian in Deceased. That's the only one I'll accept because they're Batman and Wonder Woman. So, because guess what? That counts. Have you read that story?
No.
Then you don't know the version of the characters I'm talking about here.
But I will say, if we're going to talk about pairings for Tim, his one and only is spoiler. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. 100% accept that 100%. But okay.
Like basically, spoiler is Tim's Tim's Barbara.
Okay. So in this analogy, Tim is Nightwing. In this analogy, okay, cool.
No, what I mean by that is it's the one that like everyone accepts as like the big one. I'm not saying it's my preferred one because remember, my preferred ship for Tim is with Cassie. I'm just acknowledging that certain ships are more popular, are considered like the big ones.
It's like SuperWonder,
Wonder Bat.
No. Trust me, Wonder Bat is not as popular as you think it is. I've looked into this, by the way.
The fact that you've done research just proves all my trolling is working.
No, I've been doing this since before I met you, as a matter of fact, because I keep getting people in the comments section doing this. So I'm like, I have to refute this once and for all. And it's kind of funny. No one knew. You know why I covered the new 52 Superman and Wonder Woman series with Ladd back in the day? Because no one knew that series existed. I will say, though, the Nightwing Starfire pairing is probably at this point just as prominent as Dick and Barbara, because you know that ship goes all the way back to the 80s and they like brought it back continually. So here's the thing, though. If Tom Taylor has his way, because he's pushing Tim and he's pushing Nightwing and Barbara the way everything should be.
Well, then when I write Nightwing, I'm having him go with Starfire.
That'll be hilarious. And then I'll be your editor and I'll say no.
No, you'll just be a famous podcaster that come on your show every so often and be like, "Hey, Jared, I want to show you this page that I wrote for the next Batman." And you're like, "Oh crap!" And it's literally a page where Batman is making out with Wonder Woman.
And then I will actually reveal, "Hey, Nick, by the way, I actually became the Batman group editor for DC, and yeah, that's not getting approved. You have to change that to the acceptable ships."
And then I get on the phone and be like, Jared, I am now buying this company and making your job redundant.
You can't do that, though, because if you don't have a group editor for Batman, comic book shops close down. You can't do that.
I'm hiring a new group editor.
And are you going to pay the money to buy it from Warner Brothers? You can't do that, dude. That would take you years to get to that point where you could do that. That would take anyone years short of like all of a sudden winning the lottery to do that. If anyone would do that, it would be me first. And then I would say, okay, so it's Dick and Barbara. And I would actually have him have a scene where Starfire basically confesses her love to Nightwing, so Nightwing can go, nope, I'm going this way.
Oh, look, I just bought a 10% stake in War.
I bought a
just bought
20%. Suck it. Okay, but back to the...
All right, we're having a billionaire battle here.
Back to the story. But back to the movie.
What's up,
show.
What's up, Mr. Stark?
Yeah, what's up, Mr. Wayne? That's just that one meme of like Iron Man with dollar bills popping out of his armor. That is such a good.
Okay, if we ever do like a costume party kind of thing,
we're doing that. We're doing that. I'll wear the Iron Man suit and I'll have dollar bills popping out.
And I will be Batman, and we will reenact that.
And you'll be in the 1989 suit, probably.
Possibly, but that thing might get a little hot.
Oh, and you won't be able to turn your neck. Yeah, that's just so stupid. I
will say though, Michael Keaton actually made that work. Like, he actually put it into his performance, and I actually think it actually helped that version of that character. Like, the way he turned, I actually think he made it work.
The problem with that is that if Batman is ostensibly fighting multiple opponents that surround him, that is going to not work. At least with Affleck,
I agree.
What they should have done is either made it out of a more flexible material or have it be segmented.
You got to realize this was very early on in superhero costuming. Like, they were still figuring this stuff out. Like even by the 2000s, they were still figuring this out. I mean, we can talk about the X-Men costumes all day long.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying it doesn't. I understand that this is before, but they could have not had the cow be one piece. Well, let me finish.
I agree with you. I'm just saying you've got it in its defense. Technology of the time. That's my reasoning. Is
we
know it now. It's hindsight is 2020, but like. It was the technology of the time. It was the best they could think of.
Yeah, I know. And it's that's one of the other reasons why I think the 89 that's the one thing I hold against the 1989 suit, because before that it's flawed. Because besides that, it is a flawless bat suit. It is awesome.
I would argue, yes, it's a flaw, but I feel like Keaton makes it work. Like,
he makes it work. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying that's my personal issue with the suit itself, detached from Keaton.
From Keaton, a technical standpoint, yes, that is a flaw of the suit. But because Michael Keaton actually integrated into performance, it works.
That's why I'm not like, I freaking hate that suit, because I'm like, yeah, he figured out a way to make it work. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna hold that against you, bro. Somehow you made that suit even better. And plus, besides that suit, my favorite part about the suit, I don't know why we got on the A9 is the way the cape just drapes around him and makes him look like a shroud, like in the cartoon where he's covered in the cape and he just looks all imposing.
Yeah, like, honestly, my favorite Batman suits are the ones where when he comes down, the cape actually comes together like a cloak. Like you see that in
Batman Begins,
this cartoon, or in this very cartoon.
Yeah. He does that all the time. It's like in that one shot of the Batman animated series opening, he lands in front of those two criminals, and it's like a cloak. It's like Begins had it. That's why I love that's one of the many reasons why I love the Begins. By the way, we are going to do Comics League Dark. We're talking about our favorite bat suits. There you go. That's what we're doing. We'll save this for Comics League Dark.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Oh my gosh, that movie!
We're gonna talk.
I was about to say we're most likely going to cover that for movie night one day. That'll be one of our picks.
Well, no, we're going to talk about. Well, the thing is, if we're going to talk about bat suits, obviously we're going to talk about Adam West one. I'm actually going to bring up the serials from the 40s. Ooh. Like, we're going to look at that and have a good laugh.
Yes, we are. And then arguably my favorite bat suit, the Affleck suit, because being a big fan of The Dark Knight Returns, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty solid. That's a solid adaptation of The Dark Knight Returns suit.
I would have to say probably mine would be
89.
Okay, this is gonna be totally surprise anyone who knows me, but I'm gonna say the Dark Knight suit.
That
I feel
thing,
it's got the best balance between all the different designs. I
Okay, I just think it's too light, and you lose the cloak effect of the cape.
I just think the Nolan Batman suits are actually really, really good. See the
Okay,
the problem I have.
Save this for
I just want to
Friday.
say this part. I have to say this part. The problem I have with the Ben Affleck Batman is he's too wide. He looks like you may like this, but I'm not a really big fan of it. He looks like a freaking linebacker, and to me, that's not really Batman. I mean, you may love it. That's fine.
Was the Dark Knight Returns, though.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of it.
Yeah, but the problem with the Dark Knight suit is that it went too light, so it made Batman look smaller and, in my mind, less imposing. The Begin suit was the best Nolan bat suit.
It was good, but it was a bit bulky.
Yeah, but the thing is that the other one went too far in the other direction, I think.
I like the the Keaton Schumacher suits, but they are a bit too rubbery for my taste. Actually,
too bondage.
Okay, I will say this though. My favorite of that series was actually Clooney's suit. Clooney's suit, like the ones with like the silver and the black.
Oh yeah, that looked cool. That was cool.
The only other one was the fight. Also Val Kilmer suits were really freaking good. Mm-hmm. Like they were sculpted, and like his final one for the final act was really good. Mm-hmm. Like those were some really good suits.
More on that at Comics League Dark this weekend. But so. I agree with you. I give this one a solid 8 or 9 out of 10. I give it a little bump because I am a massive Wonder Woman fan, so I have to. So I give it the fandom boost. In other words,
so you're saying it's quite the wonderful episode?
Yes, it is quite the wonderful episode. It's quite the super wonderful episode. So, it's so a couple of housekeeping items. Next week we're talking War World, and we're going to bring a guest on the show. We will be talking with, let me get the message out. We will be talking with King's Advisors, who's a big DC animated fan. He messaged me saying he wanted to come on the show, and I'm like, all right, cool.
We need to get Watchtower Database on the show. I say
we'll talk about that later, but so in other words, yeah, in terms of where this ranks, we already gave our favorite arc, so I guess we're done. But in terms of what's next for the channel, I have Indie Wednesday talking Scott Snyder's Undiscovered Country, or Tom King's what's the book? Sheriff of Babylon. I recently got Volume 2, so I'm excited for that. And be on the lookout for Comics League Dark, where we'll talk about the Blue Beetle trailer and Batsuits. That's kind of where we're going with that. Nick, what have you got coming out in the channel, brother?
Well, this week is going to be kind of a quiet one because we're going to have to cancel Super Split Screen Bros. Unfortunately, just the scheduling didn't work out. I had a convention last weekend that kind of screwed things over. Plus, it's honestly a bit of a quiet week for kind of stuff. So, we will be with you next week. And but I will have on my channel this is going to be a limited series of live streams, because Jared's available, and I am taking advantage of that. We're reviving Friday Night Frenzy, and it will be going live, obviously, this Friday. So keep an eye out for that. We will be. I will be premiering the pre-launch for Torrent Samurai #3. That's going to be really freaking sweet.
What time are you thinking for the live stream?
I haven't nailed down a time yet. I'm thinking 6 or 7, but that's somewhere around that range. But yeah.
So on that note, stay heroic, everyone, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks.